You've got this huge collection, but do you know what you have? The other day we talked about, and I showed you how you could use a table in making your collection and finding things very quickly. Tables are awesome, but there's an even better way to look at your collection and find things that you need. And it's in a pivot table. So we're going to get to that really quickly. I want to show you the difference from using the table to using a pivot table and what that can do for you. So we're going to get to it right now. I am going to move that over. All right, we are looking at our collection. So this is the actual table of all the information. If I scroll down to the bottom, if I can get there, grab the little guy, sorry. There we go. You can see I've got 33,702 items in this table. I can see that by there, or I've got one column that's my headings at the top. So I know if I take off one, I have 33,702 items. Awesome. So we're going to go Control Home. That gets you back to the top really quickly. And I want to look at this. Right now I'm just going to show you pivot table number by box. So this is a pivot table of all the cards that are in there, and it goes by box number. So you can see I've got 71 normal boxes, and then I've got some other mixed in. So what this is telling me is in each box, in this box, I've got 416 cards that are not rookie cards, but I have 6 cards that are, and I do not have any others. So the total is 422 cards. So I can look at this just knowing, okay, coming down and scrolling, this box must be really big because it's got 1,120 items in it, of which 9 are rookie cards. So it's just telling me information how much I got in each box. It's not giving me a lot of information, but it's telling me the different boxes I have and how many are in it. So this is another pivot table that I created, and these are all attached to the original table. So this table here, these pivot tables are all attached to this. It's like taking a picture of the table at the time that you do it, and anything you put in the table later, you would need to refresh this pivot table to get it up to date. So this one I have by name, and I could do all kinds of different things. So I got Ken Griffey, I got Ken Griffey Jr. You can see I've got a lot of his cards, and this must be, it is filtered right now. I can see that by this little filter. You can see it looks like a little oil filter to me. That's what I think, funnel, an oil funnel, not a filter, sorry. That's what it looks like to me. The rest are not. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to clear this filter, and you're going to see this get very big. So this spreadsheet goes all the way down to, 30-some thousand lines, 31,000 lines, because some of them have multiple items in a line. Like this one has 12. So I obviously have 12 cards from Zane Smith, this 193. So if I double clicked on that, it will tell me, yep, I've got 12 of the same card. There's a bunch in 61A and a bunch in box 40, 3 of them in 49 and 4 of them in box 39. So it's just telling me a different way to look at it. So by clicking on that pivot table, sorry, it's not going away. Hope I didn't just lose that. But anyway, if I did, that's okay. By looking at this in different ways and by double clicking on information, it popped up a new sheet. Doesn't change anything in this original table, but it gives me a way to look at things differently. If I wanted to, so this is just a pivot table. I'm going to look at the fields. I could take out and change the pivot table. That's what's really cool about a pivot table. So I don't need, maybe I don't want to know the team. So that just made the spreadsheet a whole lot smaller. So now you can see I've got U.S. Olympics, and I've got different things. So A.J. Robinson, or A.J. Johnson. Goodness, can't even talk or read at the same time. So 1990, I've got 3 different cards of his. I could also take out the card year and just go with the card number. Maybe I would take out the card number. Maybe I take out if it's a rookie or not. I could take out the box number. We don't really need to see that. And I don't really need to see the brand. So, okay, now I've got, this table looks a little funny because I took out where different things were being subtotaled. I can throw subtotals back in on subtotal name. And now, let's see what I did there. I took that out. Okay, so now it's showing, it's not really subtotaling anything because I don't have any counts. So that was what I did with the box number, I think, is I had the box in there. So it was counting the boxes, how many boxes they were in. So like this A.J. Johnson was in 3 different boxes. So I don't really know how many cards I have at this point of each of these. But you can see that you can move things. I could move the year and pivot it. That's what it's called. So I'm moving the year all the way across. So now if I go out, they're not really showing very well. I'm not sure why it's not showing. Oh, there they are. It was hidden down below. So it's showing the years all the way across. So it makes the spreadsheet very wide. It's going out to column BD, which is quite a few columns, over 80 columns wide. So it makes it harder to read. So I typically don't like doing the year up there. I would put that back down there, and then it pops back in, and I can resort that. So the cool thing about pivot tables is that you can manipulate the data really quickly. You're not changing anything. You're not hurting any of the original data. You never ever does it touch it. It's like taking a picture and then playing with it to see what you need. And that's why I love this thing. So like this one, this pivot table is set up by year and then by name. So over here you can see that's exactly how I have it set up. So it's year, name, the team, the card number, the card brand. Is it a rookie card? Yes or no? And then I just have the count of the box. So let's see if I can find one that has multiple. I know there's different ones that I have multiple. There's some that have 3. So this one has 3 different boxes. So it's in box 42 twice and box 40 once. So I have 3 of those cards. I can just delete this. It doesn't do anything. It just created a new spreadsheet based off of the information in here. Here's one that has, I have 6 of them. So let's go look at that. So I've got 6 of those cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them are in box 42 and 1 is in box 40. So this allows me to quickly find information. And then what I do, if I wanted to go find the one that was in box 40, or let's look at, I can also filter this by name. So, trying to think of the guy's name. Hernandez. So I got a whole bunch of different Hernandez. Let's just look at a Nolan Ryan because I know I've got a bunch of them. So, all right, there's a bunch of Ryans. Let's put in Nolan in front. So now I'm just going to look at my Nolan Ryan cards, Nolan Ryan exclusively. Now I'm going to need to go back up to the top. Oops, I hit the wrong tab. Control Home. So this is looking at them by year. I could take out the year right now because I really don't need the years. So if I took out the years, here's all the Nolan Ryan cards. And you can see I've got multiples of certain cards. So this one I have 3 of them. But it's different ways of looking at information very quickly. I've got 15 of these Leaf cards when he was with the Rangers. Those are all kinds of different, so they're all mostly in box 62. I have 1 in box 41. Say I wanted to find this one. Nolan Ryan, card 154 in 1988. It's a Leaf. And it's a highlights card is what it is. So if I went to here, I can go to, I want to go first to box. So let me just pull that back up. So I'm going to say box 41 we're going to look at. So I'm just going to come here and I'm going to filter down to box 41. So this is all the cards within box 41. So this is going to tell me, because of the way I entered all these cards, they're just in order by the way I entered it. So if I go back to here, I'm looking at 1988 Leaf, and it's card number 154. So I'm just going to go and I'm going to look at the card number, and I'm going to say 154. Oops, not here. Sorry about that. I'm going to go back to my cards. I sorted it. It's filtered down to the boxes. I'm going to filter it to card number 154. There could be multiple of them, and there are, but there's one Nolan Ryan card, and he is in row 7,750. So I would make a note of that, 7750. All right, so now when I clear this, 7750. So this is starting out, this has been sorted. So this is where I need to go. Oh, here's my mistake. So I want to go back to my original cards and look at box 41. Oops, I've got this locked, so I can't do anything. So I'm going to unlock this. I'm just going to unprotect it. So I'm going to look at box 41. Okay, and now I'm going to filter because it's going to be in a different number. So I'm going to filter to 154. And we're going to see that Nolan Ryan card is in 17616. So I'm just writing that down. So I know I'm going to now unfilter the card number and go back to here. So he's in 17616. So if I scroll down to the bottom of here, I start out in 17562 and I go to 18164. So I know it's going to be in like the first third of the boxes of that box. So I can just go to looking in the box, 616, it's this one right here. So I can go in the box and flip to almost that exact spot just by looking at the sheet and knowing where it is in the system. Because this one is exactly how I entered it, and it's not ever been changed. It's just in order of how I entered them. So all the cards in those boxes are always going to be in that order, and I can quickly look at that information that I need. So what makes it really cool is I can quickly go in that box, directly to the box I need, and directly to about where it is, pull out a couple cards and see which way I need to go by looking at what card did I pull out and looking at where it is in order, so I know if I need to go farther up or farther down. So it helps me not have to look through all of the cards to find what I need. So if you're looking at trying to find something very quickly in a large amount of data, like I said, this is 33,702 records that you're looking for information. And, you know, a pivot table allows you to find exactly what you need and when you need it. And then the original data allows you to find where it is. So if you've been looking for things or you have a bunch of data, you want to look at it in different ways. The pivot table allows you to do that. So I can take like this card brand here, and let's move that one because there's not as many different brands. But now I'm going to go back up to the top so you can see them. The only bad part is this kind of makes it very wide. So there we go, a little bit easier to read. So a lot of these cards in this box that we are looking at are Pacific Trading. So I can scroll down and to the bottom. This is a large, I have a lot of Nolan Ryan cards. Oops, I guess I went too far. Let's scroll up from there. Maybe. All right, there we go. So you can see that I have a grand total of 355 different Nolan Ryan cards. The only thing bad when you put that over there, this is now, the card brand isn't showing because it's up at the up at the top. So I could lock that. But if I'm moving it, I don't want to lock things. So 170 of which are, let's go back all the way to the top and look at column M, Pacific Trading, which is a newer card. Your Leaf, your Dunross, some of the tops, the TCG is the older tops. That's what they used to put. So whatever they were on the cards is exactly what I put on them. So a lot of them are probably laid out. The tops of TCG are the same. And then different ones, I didn't know all of the brands that mesh together, so I just put what was exactly on the cards. So I have a little bit more than a lot of people will have. But it makes it easy to look at information very quickly, no matter what it is. And that's what's cool about having a pivot table, to be able to look at information quickly and easily to see what you really needed. You can see that it's filtered. I can unfilter that. I can go back to everything and go up to the top and look at it. So it just makes it easy to look at information in different ways. I think I took the year out, so if I come down here and throw the year back in, there I got it subtotaled by year. I can also change the design. So that's what's cool about pivot tables, is there's all kinds of different designs that you can have. And I'm not quite sure. So you can see how as I hover over them, it's changing. So you can find what you like. This one has some, I don't know that I would actually do the colored columns, but some people like that. So it just breaks it up, makes it a little easier to read for some people. I've got the totals highlighted here, so you can see there's 9 U.S. Olympics from 1964 that I have some cards from. Then I've got some 1980 Olympic cards. Just different things. You can find anything you're looking for just by clicking on the filter up here and doing a search. So maybe I want to look at Michael Jordan. If I could spell Michael, A-E-L. So I've got Michael Jordan. It finds Michael Jordan. So you can see I've got different cards of his, 91, 93, 94, 95, and a blank. Just so you can find whatever you want very quickly. That's the cool part. So, and if you wanted all of a team, a specific team, I can come in here and say, maybe I want to look at the Yankees. Let's do the Brewers. I'm more of a brewer. So I don't need the Beloit Brewers, but I'll do the Brewers and Milwaukee Brewers. I'll have to go through and clean this up a little bit, but because some of them are under Brewers, some of them are under Milwaukee. So I will clean this data up. So that's something you can find of what you need to do. So, just looking at information very quickly, it helps you to find what you need super easy, in a way that makes sense to people, and summarizing information very fast. How would I have known that I had all of these brewer cards? I would never have known how many I had. Like I've got almost 1,000 cards that are from the Brewers. I would have never known that looking at all of this data. It's just so overwhelming to see it like this. Yes, I could have found it by doing basically the same thing. So if I go Brewers, that's interesting that it's not finding them all. I might have cleaned up this. I should not have cleaned up this data. I've got something else filtered somewhere, I think. So this is saying I only have 14 cards that are the Brewers. Let's look at something. I've got there's a filter on, because I'm filtered to box 41. I knew there was a filter. Okay, so just making sure that that's all cleared. So now if I come back here and go Brewers, I knew something wasn't right because it didn't have that Beloit Brewers. So I can come in here now and look at all the different brewers, and if I go to the end, it'll have 989. So what I'm going to do to clean this up right now is I'm just going to say Milwaukee, or I can just put in brewers again. Take out Beloit and take out brewers. And now I'm going to come in here and just type in brewers. Now if I can get to the top. So I'm just going to type in brewers. And I'm going to double click. I'm going to drag this down. So it's just going to copy all of those. It's only copying to the cells that are visible. So now, when I go back into here and type in brewers, there's no more Milwaukee. Take out the Beloit, there's still going to be 989 items. When I go to my pivot table, is this the right one? Yep. You can still see that there's Milwaukee here, but I'm now going to refresh this. And this got shorter because it took out the Milwaukee. And I can look at this and see if I type in brewers, there's only, still got Milwaukee. That's interesting. Let's see what they are, because there really shouldn't be any Milwaukee left here. Oh, no, it's just, it held that title, but there are no Milwaukee brewers in here. So, and the reason I know that is my grand total is on row 4. My headings are in row 5. So there is no team Milwaukee anymore, brewers. It's just brewers. So I just quickly, oh, it's already filtered onto that, so it's not going to show anymore. So if I go, okay, oops, I'll select all, bring it back up, and I go back into brewers again. And we'll take off Milwaukee, and we'll take off Beloit, and if I go down, it'll be 989, and that's what it is. So it's the exact same number there as there. So you can see that you have to refresh to update the data here. It's holding that name because it was in there. I have a couple other pivot tables that are still using that old snapshot, so that's why that is happening. But these other tables I can just delete that I created because it doesn't, they don't do anything, they don't hurt the original data. So having the ability to find information very quickly, know what you want to update, and clean up your data is going to be very helpful to make sure that you're all on the same page looking at the same thing. But if it makes sense for you to be able to look at information in a new way and maybe be able to find data out of what you have that you've not been able to find before, or it's taking you a long time to find what you need by sorting and subtotaling or doing different things like that, that's where the pivot table comes in. So I take like my expenses for the year. It's just in a regular table with everything in the same columns. So I have an expense type. At the end of the year, I make a pivot table, and just like that, I've got my different expense types with my totals. Done. I can hand that off to my accountant. I don't have to do anything else. There's no sorting of receipts, no sorting of anything like that. But so if you have a collection or data, any type of data that you're using, that it makes sense to be able to find information very quickly that you want to use, a pivot table is the way to do it. So if it makes sense to learn more, you've got my bit.ly link there to schedule your free 15-minute consultation. I would love to walk through and talk to you about how Excel can make your life easier, because that's what it's all about for me. It's making your life easier, saving you money, and saving you time. You know, I've saved companies over 260 hours a year by streamlining what they're doing and making it easier and making it accurate. Because in my opinion, if it's not accurate, there's no reason to do it. That's what I'm about. Saving time, money, making it accurate, and making it fun. Because if it's not fun, none of us want to do it. I'm Tina Baumgren with Excelling Your Business. signing off today, but check out the free consultation. What can it hurt? You have nothing to lose but wasted time. Have a great day.